Good morning, everybody. This morning I'm sharing some time with Dr. Bethany Swindell. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Appreciate you spending some time. I think to start out is tell us a little bit about where you're from, where you grew up. What do you do for fun?
I'm actually a Russellville native. I was actually born and raised here. My parents are both tech graduates. My grandfather worked on the tech campus, and so my mom worked on the tech campus. She was a professor for 20 years. So someone in my family's been on the tech campus since 1973, I think. So we're talking about bleeding green and gold.
Yeah.
So yeah, born and raised here in Russellville. Graduated from tech with my undergrad in emergency management. It was the first nationally accredited emergency management program. I know, number one in the world. But when I came to tech, it wasn't for emergency management. I thought I wanted to be a vet, and I worked at a vet's office and realized it's not all puppies and kittens, and wanted to do something totally different away from that. And James Lee Witt from Yale County, he was the county judge and then the director of emergency management for the state, and then when Clinton was president, he was the director of FEMA.
Okay.
And so with him just being a stone's throw away, I was like, hey, let's try out this emergency management program and see what it's about. Did that, graduated, left, said I was never coming back, and now full circle, here I am working on the tech campus. But it is quite a blessing because for 12 years I traveled the world doing disaster response, and to bring all of that experience back into the classroom now, it's really interesting to see students when I'm talking about, like, yeah, this might be what the textbook says, but let me tell you how it happens when you're on site, or this happened, or this partnership, or yeah, that did happen and I was there for it. So it's really neat.
And I know I've seen your students super involved around campus doing different things, even recently with the eclipse that came through.
Yes.
And, gosh, it's been about almost a year ago at this point, right? I mean, it doesn't seem like it's, yeah.
I know, it's like a blink. That experience, I had never done a total solar eclipse. I had participated in mega events and planning, but nothing to that scale. But it was the best possible learning experience for students to actually see how we bridge theory and practice and get a really nice hands-on experience. And they basically went through a full-scale exercise from start to finish. And I taught a class, undergrad and grad, on mega event planning, and my students went to a lot of the state meetings and got to experience those partnerships and pre-planning meetings. They worked the eclipse, they ran the Emergency Operations Center on campus with our visitors that we had, and then we did the after action report for the campus. My students helped facilitate that and host it for the executive council and other members.
Right.
And that actually got published at the state level and then the national level as an after action, lessons learned, what to do, kind of what not to do as well. So if you want to talk about like experience, check.
Students get it, yeah, and heard so many great things from city officials, campus administrators, folks that were just here visiting. So I want to kind of give you and your program a kudos there. Kind of to go back a little bit, because I got excited there, I guess, a little bit about the eclipse. Tell me about the grad. So you got your undergrad in emergency management. Tell me about your graduate programs and kind of how you stepped into, I guess, into those programs and into the faculty role. Kind of give me that timeline.
Okay. So when I got my undergrad, I was a national merit finalist, chose tech. So my schooling thankfully was paid for, my undergrad, and so I actually started on my graduate degree here at Tech as well before Hurricane Katrina. So that was my first disaster in '05 when I graduated. And I started on the graduate program here. Tech didn't have an emergency management Homeland Security graduate program at the time, so I was going into IT. Now we do, excuse me. But I started on that, only got one class in, and got deployed to Hurricane Katrina and swooped off into the world of emergency management and disaster response. Didn't think I'd ever finish my graduate program. Never saw me with a doctorate in a faculty role. That was my mom, like that was her thing. I went to do the response side. But fast forward a couple of years, and I was like, you know what? I'm a continual learner. I want to figure this out. I want to invest in myself. So I started on my grad program, did it in management and leadership. And then after that, I was like, well, I kind of enjoy this. And so Sandy Smith, the previous department head for our program, she wow, this is kind of a long story. All right, let me back up a little bit too. So I was working in the field. My husband, he got a job at Arkansas Nuclear One. That's how I ended up back here in Russellville.
Okay, sure.
And we were both traveling. We were living in Little Rock, and I was traveling to the airport and flying out, and he was driving to Russellville. And I was like, there's no point in us living in Little Rock. Let's buy a house in Russellville. So we did. Well, my mom was super excited, and my dad, of course, coming back home. And so she was talking to Sandy about it. And Sandy was like, oh my gosh, I would love to have her as an adjunct with that experience. And again, I was like, nope, that's not my thing. I'm not in the classroom. I don't see that happening. But I was like, fine, I will teach a class. Fine. I fell in love with it. I was like, okay, I do love this. This is my thing. And then that's when I started on my doctoral program, and there's only a handful of programs that are accredited at the doctoral level in emergency management, Homeland Security. So that's how I picked North Central University. It's Homeland Security Public Policy is what my doctorate's in.
Okay.
And I don't know if I would have ever done that if I hadn't have adjuncted as a class here and just loved it. And so then I did finish my doctorate, and now I'm full-time faculty, and here we are today.
Full circle,
there's
right?
the circle, yeah.
Full circle. That is so cool, and it's interesting. You talk about Katrina. I spent a little bit of time in New Orleans post-Katrina as well, doing some work down there, more on the forestry side of things.
Okay.
So I guess we talked a little bit about the eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
What other projects or cool things have you gotten into recently, whether it's with students or with other faculty?
Well, I'm always continual learner, like I was saying, trying to research and everything. I still have research ongoing from the eclipse. Recently partnering with Main Street Russellville, looking and doing, we just submitted our IRB for a new research project on that. Coming forward on branding and finding the messaging for what Russellville actually is. So kind of a little bit of story, a little bit of tourism, a little bit of emergency management. So that's the newest research project that I have, and I'm excited to see where that will go. But always looking for interdisciplinary connections, because emergency management is not just disasters. It's from the pre-planning to community resilience to forestry. I mean, everything has a tie within emergency management. So always trying to reach out. My big thing that's going on this semester is I'm teaching our undergrad research, which is kind of a capstone project, and so I'm overseeing 12 research projects at the undergrad level.
Right.
It's a lot, but it's really interesting to see where those students, where their interest lies, because it is open. I don't say you have to do this topic or that topic. I let them explore their interests.
Sure, yeah.
And so that's a big semester project right now, is overseeing those 12 research. I don't have a lot of time for my own research interest and projects right now.
And it's a good segue to say that we host a research symposium on campus.
Yes.
Late in the spring every year, and hopefully we'll see
all of them required.
All of them
required.
Right?
Yes, even so the class is high flex, so I have some students that are online, some that are in the classroom, but they each have their own individualized research project, and they will all check mark do the symposium if they're online or face to face. I think it's a great experience for them to come full circle in their research project as well, and see how to be able to present their research out. So I really appreciate that you host that symposium.
Yeah, no, I look forward to it. And it's one of those things every year I look forward. Just even some of them I don't quite understand, to be honest, right? But I look forward to going around and seeing the students, and they're so proud of their project,
Yes,
right? And they'll talk to you about it.
And just the talent that we have on campus, it's so diverse, like you were talking about. I've been a judge for the symposium before, and I might not know electrical vehicles, and that's not my thing, but I'm excited to see them present their research and see them excited about it and come away learning a couple things that I didn't know about before. So
yeah,
I encourage everyone to come just walk around and see the posters and listen. Like, I know you're not paying me to do it.
It's the PSA you paid for, right?
But it really is. It's a fun event, and it's impactful.
Yeah, and and like you said, it's super cool just to talk to the students. Speaking of students,
Yeah.
so talk to me about your graduate program.
Okay.
What's entailed in your graduate program? when the students, what curriculum is involved and all that kind of stuff?
So our grad program is 30 hours now. It used to be a little bit more, but we've restructured. So we're at 30 hours for our graduate program, and it's open to anyone. So you don't have to have an undergrad in emergency management or Homeland Security. We start from the ground level of principals. Most of our grad students aren't emergency management students. They come from the other disciplines, and so we start with the principles, what is emergency management, Homeland Security, but at the grad level, so more theory-based. And then it goes into, we have our research, we also have leadership is required at the grad level,
Sure.
Homeland Security is required at the grad level, ethics and legal, so that's a big part of how we can make sure we're following our doctrine, what is allowed, what's not allowed, what to do, what not to do. A lot of lessons learned out of past disasters. And then also going into comprehensive emergency management. And technology at the grad level is huge because it's not just, we're not siloed, we have fingers into everything. So
Pretty cool.
yeah, so our grad program is very interdisciplinary.
So, kind of keeping on the line with students, for an undergraduate student that is considering going into a graduate program in emergency management, what kind of thing, and I know that by the nature of the program, they get a lot of experience, right? But
Yes.
what kind of other things can set them apart and give them a leg up, so to speak, on looking at graduate programs in emergency management?
Well, with our undergrads in their program, we encourage community engagement, and that starts from our intro 1013 community engagements required all the way up through when they graduate, and they'll have over 1,000 hours of experience in our community, whether it's from training to hands-on experience, whatever. So I definitely think getting out there, getting involved, making connections is going to benefit you. If you're going into a grad program or going into the workforce, it doesn't matter. You want those connections. All of the jobs I have, every experience I have, even with going into grad school and even getting my doctorate, was because of some connection that I made in the world and with the person. So I definitely think experience, putting your hand out there and meeting someone, shaking their hands, that's going to get you further, at least in my experience. I think it builds a well-rounded individual as well, and then that's definitely going to get you a leg up when you get into grad school and get those experiences to kind of bolster up your academics underneath you.
Sure. Yeah, and so I think as we kind of wrap up here and our time's coming to a close, is, thinking about, you got your undergrad here and you kind of came full circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, when people are considering Arkansas Tech as an institution, maybe not just emergency management, higher education and all that, but as an institution, what do you think, what's something you think that sets Tech apart as far as a graduate education?
I think it's very personal as well. I know all of my students by name when I see them in the classroom. It might be an online experience, but I know those students and I know the work that they're doing. I think you're not just a number in the classroom, you're not just another name. I know with our program and other programs, we care. We want to make sure that students are getting what they need to set them for success. Like, I know life happens. We're in emergency management. Disasters happen. That's part of it. But being resilient, building upon that, making sure you have the tools for success, I think that really is what helps Arkansas Tech set themselves apart, is that you're more than just a number or a face. You actually mean something and we care. We want to make sure that you're set up for success. Management program to go into the EMHS grad program, but it also works with sociology, psychology, political science. They can double dip into the emergency management Homeland Security grad program as well.
Yeah, it's an incredible opportunity, and I guess, my advice to students, right, is to make sure you investigate that and see where it's at.
Yes.
Worst case scenario is you do it and you complete it and you don't have to use it, but best case scenario, you decide to go back to school.
Right, and you can finish your graduate degree, your undergrad and graduate degree in like 5 years. And so why would you not, if you're already here, the time goes by so quickly, go ahead and do it, take advantage of that benefit. I wish she was here when I was at Tech to be able to have finished, but it's an amazing opportunity, and we have plenty of students that love that and they're taking advantage of it, but I don't see why you all students wouldn't take advantage of it, honestly.
Yeah, and if you look online, it's the Advanced Bachelor's and Master's, or as we know it as AB2M program, and you
Yes.
can check it out online.
Yes.
Okay, awesome, thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. It was
Dr.
fun.
Swindell, everybody.
Thank you.